All right, Taurus, welcome back. I'm Ryan with Erosoflove. Today we're going to do your June 2021 Love is Situationship Tarot reading. We all go through situationships from time to time. Doesn't matter if you're single, looking, partner, dating. Things come up. We're human. It's the nature of being human, interacting with other people. We just went through a series of big eclipses. And for you, Taurus, that was in Gemini and Sagittarius. That is your second house and your eighth house. The second house has to do with self-worth and value. It has to do with money, cash flow, resources, and possessions. And that was a new moon solar eclipse, and that's set in that second house. So maybe you saw a promotion. Maybe you saw an influx of cash coming in. Maybe you're realizing your self-worth at this time. It's a house of value. You are the second house. You rule the second house, so you should know this quite well. But it's in Gemini, so it has to do with mental energy. It has to do with learning, travel, short distance travel, and communication. So it's the way you communicate with others. So maybe you're learning how to communicate your self-worth and talking about what it is you really want with others. The eighth house, which is Sagittarius, that's where the lunar eclipse happened in late May, has to do with other people's money, and that has to do with how you interact with other people. It's a hidden house. It's a house of secrets. Things come up out of the surface that could be quite unexpected at times. It has to do with intimacy, sex, taxes, death, the death and rebirth process and transformation. So it's asking you to transform something in your life that no longer is serving you. It has to do with self-worth. It has to do with value. It has a lot to do with where it is you're going in the future. There's going to be kind of complicated areas of the chart, especially that eighth house. So what I would say is if you feel this coming, if you're being drawn toward a certain area of your life, that's where the universe wants you to go. It wants you to explore this. It wants you to transform something and let something end. So something can be reborn, and you can rise like the phoenix and soar, essentially. I mean, that's the metaphor of the eighth house. So those can be quite intense. That eighth house is a pretty intense house, and you already ruled the second. So, this has a lot to do with your self-worth, generally speaking. Mercury, planet of communication, is still in retrograde. I'm doing this video on June 21st, its station is direct tomorrow on June 22nd, and that's when Mercury is most potent. That's when frustrations come about, a lot of miscommunication. There could even be some illusion in the air because Mercury was making a square over to nebulous Neptune, and that points to some disillusionment, even some deceit. So, be on your guard and stay on the up and up. But a personal story with Mercury retrograde, I am a Cancer rising. So Mercury is in my 12th house right now. And a couple weeks ago, it was more like a month ago, I was transferring some assets between institutions, between brokerage accounts. And the institution that I was transferring assets into deposited my stocks into someone else's account. So I'm looking at my account like, where the heck are my assets? And turns out they screwed up. And Mercury rules channels, technology, communication, and the 12th house is a hidden house. So my assets were hidden from me for a while. I had to do some digging to go find them, unfortunately. But it'll all be taken care of. It's these miscommunications with technology channels, and for me, it was things unseen. Just happened to be some assets. So you can see how this kind of plays out in the real world. Mercury's the trickster. It wants you to see, it's testing you to see how you react to things. So I'm going through my own little Mercury test. I'm sure you are going through yours as well. But tomorrow in particular could be very frustrating because Mercury is stationed, and that's when planets have the most power, when they're not moving in the sky. So be aware of that. Venus, the planet of love, attraction, popularity, relationships, is in Cancer, and for you that is your third house. Cancer is 3 signs past Taurus, and that has to do with your local communities, short distance travel, communication, generally speaking. It also has to do with technology. So these things could come up for you. Maybe you're making some technological purchases for the house. Cancer rules the home. So maybe you're, getting a new Apple TV or making some upgrades to audio. That would be one manifestation of this, because Venus can be purchases as well. And Cancer is this very home nesting oriented sign, self-protective. So it could also be maybe a new car, because you know, this is a communication traveling house, and you know, things come up. Just one particular example that this could come up for you. So Venus is self-protective. She likes comfort and security in Cancer. So it has kind of this nesting quality to it. So, which is a little bit counterintuitive, because people want to get out and do things now that, you know, the United States is opening up again. But if you're looking to deepen a relationship, nesting and doing a little Netflix and chill wouldn't be the worst thing. So just a little advice for Venus. Mars right now is sitting over in Leo, and that is your 4th house, Taurus. That is home, family, foundations, roots, ancestry. Also deals with motherhood. And Venus and Mars are going to meet up in a conjunction in July in Leo. So, you know, there could be something here if you're traveling back home. Maybe you meet up with, you know, an old fling. It's the cosmic lovers. Venus is the divine feminine, Mars is the divine masculine. They're meeting up. So this points to some passionate interactions in July, but it has something to do with home, family, foundations. So, you know, maybe you meet someone through family or something to that effect. Things like that would essentially come up. So pay attention. It's a good time to go out. If there's any block parties, anything with local communities would be very favorable for you, with Venus sitting in that 3rd house. So just giving some tips of advice of where to find love. If you're single, if you're partnered up, again, this has to do with nesting. Maybe taking a vacation, or, you know, a B&B of some type, anything like that would be really beneficial for your love life. So today we're going to do Situationship. I'm going to pull 1 card from the Angels deck for the general energy, 6 cards from the Tarot to clarify. Keep in mind, these are general readings. They won't resonate with all of you. If you do like these videos, please click that like button and subscribe. It helps the channel, and it is very much appreciated for me. If you're looking for a personal reading, my email is in the description box below. Just send me an email and we'll set up a time to chat. All right, so Taurus, let's see what's going on with you. Free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. So we talked a lot about the 2nd house. The 2nd house has to do with self-worth. What are you willing to put up with? This also has to do with boundaries. Making sure you have solid boundaries that match your values. So if there's something that you are holding on to, something that's controlling your life, it's time to let it go. That's what the eclipses are all about. It's new beginnings and endings. It's time to start the new cycle. These are big changes. Eclipses always mark big changes. So let's see what's happening for you. The first card out is for you. That's your general energy. Hermit. Wow, you've been doing some alone time, thinking about what comes next, some introspection. Second card is your issue in your relationship. Ooh, 10 of Swords. That one hurts. Third card out is what you are conscious of in your relationship. This is what you're aware of. Starting the new. Okay. There's the Fool. This is what you're unaware of. Queen of Pentacles. That very well could be you. Could be a Capricorn too. So maybe you have a Capricorn friend, but more than likely this is you. You're on the right path, even if you don't feel like you're on the right path. This is your limitation in your relationship. 8 of Cups. Yeah, moving away from something for sure. And here's the outcome. King of Wands. Ooh, spicy. All right, so for yourself. So looking at the cards and then looking at the angels, it looks like you might be hung up on an ex. Could be an old fling, old lover, something that just isn't working or is just officially done. And it looks like to me, Taurus, you have been doing some self-reflection. You've been doing some introspection on what comes next. The Hermit card is very much indicative of isolation and being on your own. The good thing that comes out of this, though, it's the man with the lantern. The star card is actually right here. You can't really see it, but it is. And what this says is essentially this. When you do introspection, when you do some deep reflection, and you start coming to terms with your boundaries and your self-worth and what it is you're willing to put up with, you realize that your hopes, wishes, and dreams start coming true, and you start manifesting, you start taking steps to that end. So he has his hopes, wishes, and dreams in his lantern. It's what's guiding him right now after a long period of isolation and confinement. And it looks like the issue was some type of betrayal or heartbreak. I mean, the Ten of Swords is probably, in my opinion, the darkest card in the Tarot. It's a very difficult card to go through. We all do it. But the good news is it's the 10, which means it's the end of the cycle. You've been healing yourself. You've been assessing self-worth. You are deciding what it is you're willing to put up with and what you're not. You're reassessing those boundaries. It's all about boundaries. Uranus is in your first house right now. Uranus is the change agent. You're changing. Your identity is changing. Your purpose is changing. Saturn is sitting over in your 10th in Aquarius, and that's your outward appearance in the world, what it is you do out in the world. And the two are in tension, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is there's this push and pull back and forth between the two, the future and the past. Where do you go? If you're obsessing about the past, can't change the past, can't go back and change what happened, but you can learn from it. And you can use that knowledge in your next relationship to manifest that highest love. You have to go through the highest of highs and the lowest of lows in love in order to understand the true meaning of love. It's somewhere in between. You don't want the extremes. The extremes get people into trouble. That the fire burns bright, it goes out just as fast. When people come in fast, they leave fast. You tend to take things more methodically. So you have to learn that. Go slow. Learn people. Know your value. But this is the end. This is the end of the cycle right here. So this is good. Once you get over this, good things are on their way. So you are conscious of the fact that you're starting this new journey. Here it is, the Fool. The whole Tarot is about the Fool's journey through the major arcana. So here he is, card 0, starting the new. Light baggage, right? He's letting go of all of this. Whatever this is, doesn't let it affect him, because you can't carry your baggage into the next relationship, right? You can learn from it. And you can take steps not to repeat the same cycles, but you have to put that aside in order to bring something new in. And that's what the Fool is all about. What you're unconscious of is this Queen of Pentacles. I think this is you. I think you're thinking you don't know where to go next. You're confused. Things are hazy. I don't know what to do. But the thing is, you actually do. And by the way, the Queen is also a card of value. So once you figure out your value, and once you understand this is how I'm going to do things differently this next time around, doesn't matter if you're in a partnership, single, whatever, you transform the relationship then. That 8th house is going to be activated through that lunar eclipse. So once you figure out your value, and how you fit into the value of others, you get that highest form of love. You come into your own. You're on the right track. Your card is here. You're on the right track. But you have to know your value. And the limitation here is that you're still thinking that there's an emotional connection here. There's 8 of Cups, standing upright. The man's walking away. And this is funny. Here's the Moon. We just talked about, you know, the lunar eclipse in Sag, your 8th house. So it's difficult because there could still be some emotional attachment here. You might think that you can make things work. I don't think you want to do that. I think you need to leave the past behind. I think you need to understand that you're valued more. You will be valued more. And it's time to let something go that just isn't fulfilling you up. The outcome could be very good. King of Wands is magnetic energy, very attractive. You like your attractive partners, Taurus. I'm a Taurus moon, so I know. This could be someone that is a lot of fun, that's going to get you out of a rut, get you out of this, make you forget about this. I think it's time to have fun. I think it's time, this is also a mature energy. He's the king. So, you know, it's not like the Knight where it's kind of fleeting, in and out, fire pony. This is a little bit more stable. So this guy can have fun, but he also has his life together. He's very attractive, very magnetic, very outgoing. Might have a large social circle, which might make you a little uneasy at first, but this is something really good. I think you need to explore this. It's the new start, it's the new journey, and you got to free yourself from this old pain. This is old pain that's been festering for a while. You've been thinking about it for a while, and it's time to let it go. It's time to move away from it. It's time to exuberate to the full light baggage so you can bring this guy in and have some fun. It's a good reading. It's heavy. There's a lot of heavy readings this month because of those eclipse energies. It always marks new beginnings and endings. But you're on the right track. This is you. I hope you enjoyed this reading, Taurus. Until next time, take care.